Kia ora team, welcome back to the Cone Zone, the podcast where we talk about everything traffic management straight from the ground up. I'm your host, Patrick Ross, and today we're digging into one of the biggest pain points in the industry, communication breakdowns. Now, if you've ever stood on the side of the road at 6 a.m, coffee in hand, waiting for a plan that never arrived, or worse, set up a whole site only to be told you did it wrong because no one told you the rules had changed, then you know exactly what we're talking about. This isn't just a rant session, we're looking at where communication drops off, why it happens, and most importantly, what we can do to make sure the crews on the ground aren't left holding the bag. Traffic management is a chain, and like any chain, it's only as strong as its weakest link. At the top, we've got waka kotahi setting the national standards. Then we've got councils interpreting those standards for their regions. TMP planners translating them into site-specific plans. Managers briefing the crews, and finally, the STMS and traffic controllers putting cones and signs out where the rubber literally meets the road. When everything flows properly, it's like a well-oiled machine, smooth, safe, and predictable. But when the info stops halfway, well, that's when things get messy. And here's the kicker. When something does go wrong, it's the people on the road who feel it first. You can't exactly tell a grumpy driver stuck in a queue, "Sorry mate, the council didn't update our TMP this week." They just see a stop-go sign and blame you. I heard a story recently about a crew working on a level 2 site. They were following the layout they'd always used. It matched the TMP they had. It matched what they'd been briefed on. Halfway through the morning, a council inspector rolls up and says, "You can't use this anymore. We've moved to risk-based planning." Now, think about that for a second. The new risk-based layout had been approved weeks earlier, but no one had passed it down to the crew. The planner knew, the manager knew, the crew, not a clue. Result? The whole thing had to be reset. Signs moved, cones shifted, traffic stopped. 2 hours gone, budget blown, and a crew that felt like they'd been set up to fail. Sound familiar? Because it should. That exact situation is happening up and down the country right now as we transition to the new risk-based system. Most of these problems aren't about laziness or bad intentions, they're about silos. The council talks to the consultants. The consultants talk to the TMP planners. The TMP planners send documents to the office managers. By the time it gets to the person doing the briefing in the yard, you've gone through 4 sets of hands, and every set of hands can drop the ball. Let's be real, crews are already under pressure. Short turnarounds, last minute changes, client deadlines. Sometimes you don't even get a proper briefing. You get a screenshot texted to your phone 5 minutes before you're meant to roll out. Poor communication doesn't just cost time, it costs money, it costs safety, and it costs trust. Time. Every reset or rebrief delays the job, pushes traffic out longer, and makes everyone more frustrated. Money. Extra hours, call-outs, penalties from the client, those costs add up fast. Safety. This is the big one. Confusion leads to mistakes. Missing a sign or placing it wrong because you were working off outdated info can put both road users and crews at risk. Trust. Nothing kills morale faster than feeling like you're the last to know what's going on. Crews stop trusting the office, and eventually good workers start walking. So, first, make communication direct. If there's a change, crews should have a way to pull up the latest approved TMP or notice themselves. No waiting for a paper copy or a chain of emails that may or may not arrive. Second, use toolbox talks as real conversations, not tick box exercises. If something big has changed, like a move from competent to risk-based, give the crews time to ask questions and actually understand what's expected. Third, create a feedback loop. If a plan doesn't work in the field, the STMS should be able to report that quickly and have the planner adjust it. The feedback should go back up the chain so future plans take real-world conditions into account. At the end of the day, the smartest person on site is often the one standing in the rain looking at live traffic. They're the ones seeing driver behaviour in real time. They're the ones knowing if a detour is too sharp for a truck or if a closure is going to back up traffic for kilometres. So, let's give those people the tools to figure out the safest, smartest setup, and let's trust them to make the call when they need to. So, that's today's kōrero. Communication isn't just nice to have, it's the backbone of safe, efficient traffic management. We owe it to the crews, the councils, and the public to keep that chain strong. Because when everyone's on the same page, the cones go down faster, the jobs finish on time, and everyone, including the drivers stuck in traffic, go home safer. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and if you see me out on the roads, throw me a mana wave.